So let's bring in Senator Tom Cotton. He's chairman of the Senate Republican Conference and Senate Intel Committee. And I just want you to listen to what Pete Hegseth said about accusations from the ACLU that the confinement there in Gitmo is against UN rules. Watch.
Group is saying that the confinement there is tantamount to solitary confinement, which is against the UN rules.
I say bull to the ACLU. I know what their agenda is. They want to make the America look bad. You're not going to have universal freedom at Guantanamo Bay. It's a prison, but they get all the time that they need as a temporary place to send them home.
The administration on solid ground here legally?
Oh, of course, Dana. Guantanamo Bay has been used multiple times throughout its history for detainee operations, to include by Bill Clinton when you had migrants pouring into the United States in the 1990s. I've been to Guantanamo Bay as well. The facilities there are very modern. They're very well maintained. The forces are very professional. In fact, I'd venture to say that those migrants at Guantanamo Bay oftentimes are in better conditions than some American citizens who are in jails today. So I think this was the right decision to put the worst of the worst outside the continental United States as we prepare to send them back to their country of origin. This is a smart decision that just reflects common sense.
Do you think they will hit that number of 30,000?
Well, given how many migrants flooded into our country over the last 4 years under Joe Biden, it's possible they could. But what we hope is to use it simply as a way station so the American taxpayer is not continuing to fund the presence of migrants in an American military base or in the continental United States, get them back to their country where they belong.
Okay, I also want to have you listen to this. This is Pete Hegseth talking about American sovereignty.
What's your message to the cartels?
We're taking nothing off the table. Nothing. We will do whatever it takes to secure the American homeland, to maintain our sovereignty, and protect the American people.
Does that mean you're ruling out potential strikes inside of Mexico on fentanyl labs that we know they exist, and we know where they exist?
No, I don't think I ruled anything out. Anything's on the table. The commander-in-chief ultimately, with my consultation and with the chairman and others, will make those determinations.
And I know you also have to be careful not to get ahead of anything, but what do you think about that targeting of cartels inside Mexico?
Well, cartels, along with Communist China, are responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans every year because of drug trafficking, including young Americans. President Trump is right not to rule out any actions against those cartels. Sovereignty has two sides. One, we have a sovereign right to protect our territory against, for instance, drones flying those drugs across the southern border. Two, Mexico has a sovereign responsibility to control its territory and ensure it's not being used in ways that harm American citizens. So we'd like to cooperate with the Mexican government. We'd like to crack down and break these cartels. But ultimately, President Trump is right not to take any option off the table to protect our people.
Could I get your last comment, or last question, about the Pentagon memo indicating that they're going to go forward with this ban on transgender service members to comply with an EO? Your thoughts there?
Again, I think it's basic common sense. To be in the military means you have to be in a deployable status. To be in a deployable status, you can't have a medical condition or require continued care, medicine, or procedures that makes it hard for you to be forward deployed in an austere environment. President Trump campaigned on this. I think it was the right policy. I support moving forward with it.
And congratulations to you, a #1 New York Times bestseller on 7 Things You Can't Say About China. Any word from the Chinese on how they've taken your new book?
Judging by some of the fake posts and reviews they've put online in book-selling websites, they don't seem to like it. But since they've already sanctioned me once, I'm not sure what more they can do about it. But I encourage every American to get it and read it. It's an alarm bell about the threat that Communist China poses to us today, right now, to our way of life, to you, and to your family.
Do you think that 10% tariffs that President Trump just said this morning, they are going to go into effect on March 4th, just a couple of days from now, on Monday? Do you think that that's the right amount, or should it be higher?
Well, I think it's a good starting point. I expect the president to do more, especially on strategic goods that China uses to try to gain leverage over the United States. It still only scratches the surface of the economic war that China has been waging against the United States for decades, though.
All right, Senator Tom Cotton, thank you.
Thank you, Dana.